Hi, it's Fisher from Sewmate. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to draft a women's basic pen pattern. You can use this pattern to draft so many other styles of pens, even short pens. So I'll be using a square ruler, a curved ruler, a meter ruler, a straight ruler, a scissors, a notcher, and a marker. You will need to take a few measurements: your waist measurement, hip measurement, knee measurement, the top of your thigh measurement, your pant length, that's from your waist to your ankle, and your waist to hip measurement, waist to crotch measurement, and waist to knee measurement. So let's get started. We're going to start with drafting our front pattern. So just make sure to leave yourself about 5 centimeters along your pattern paper for your seam allowances later on. We're going to start with drawing a vertical line which is equivalent to our pant length. My pant length is going to be 95 centimeters, so I'm just going to put 95. Get your ruler and square a line across the top. Square another line across the bottom. Now with your ruler, measure and mark for the hip depth, which is just the distance from your waist to your hip. Mine is 21 centimeters, and put a mark. Then mark your waist to crotch measurement. You get this by sitting on a hard surface and just measure from your waist to the top of that surface. So mine is 31.5 centimeters. Put a mark. Then your waist to knee measurement. Mine is 56 centimeters. Square horizontal lines across all these points. Let's label these lines. So this is our waist, hip line, crotch line, our knee, and ankle or hem. Coming to the hip line, we're going to put in our quarter hip measurement plus 0.5 centimeter ease. So mine is 31.75 plus 0.5 centimeter ease, I get 32.25. So along the hip line, put a mark. Now you can either transfer the same measurements to the waistline and to your crotch line, or you can just square a line across the 3 lines. On the crotch line, we're going to put in our top of thigh measurements divided by 2. So my measurement is 80 centimeters. Divide that by 2, I get 40 centimeters. Put a mark. On the crotch line again, just mark halfway from this point to the new point we just marked. So I put 40 centimeters, half of that is 20, and I'll just put a mark here. So now with this halfway mark, you can transfer it to all the lines and draw a straight line through the whole pattern, or you can just square lines across from top to bottom. Label this line your grain line. From this point here, come in by 1 centimeter. Put a mark. Connect this new point to the hip line with a straight line. And connect these 2 points, the hip line and this point here, with a curved line. From this point coming this way, you're going to measure for your quarter waist measurement, and we add a 3 centimeter dart and a 0.5 centimeter ease. Okay, so quarter waist measurement, mine is 22 centimeters. 22 centimeters. Then I'm gonna add 3 centimeters for dart allowance, and then I'm gonna add 0.5 centimeters for ease allowance. Now we're going to connect this point to the hip line with a nice curve. Next, we're going to form our dart. So we've got a 3 centimeter dart. We're going to distribute 1.5 centimeters on each side of the grain line. Okay. So 1.5, 1.5. Measure along the grain line for 10 centimeters. Square a little line across. Now join these points to form a dart. For our waist shaping, we're going to come down by 1 centimeter from this point. Just there, and square a line across. Now we're going to shape our dart here. Just grab the dart leg that's next to you and bring it over to the other dart leg. Get your curved ruler and connect a nice curve from this squared line to this point here on the waist. Now get your tracing wheel and just go over this point a bit so that we can get the shape of our dart. Open your pattern. And finish your dart. Coming to the knee level, we're going to put in our knee measurement divided by 4. So mine is 10.5. I'm going to put 10.5 on each side of the grain line. Okay. So 10.5, 10.5. So to your quarter knee measurement, subtract 2 centimeters and put it onto the hemline here. I put 10.5 on each side, so I'm going to subtract 2 centimeters to give me 8.5. So I'm gonna put 8.5 on each side of the line here. 8.5, 8.5. With your straight ruler, connect these 2 points with a straight line. And connect these 2 points with a straight line as well. Then get your curved ruler and connect these 2 points. Shape it nicely so that you don't have a point there. And do the same on the other side. Next, you're gonna turn over your ruler and you're connecting the hip line to this line, making sure not to go past this line here. Okay. Now we're going to add our seam allowances. I prefer to put 1.5 centimeter on the sides, 1 centimeter along the waist, and 1 centimeter along the crotch line here. And for the hem, I'll just put about 3 centimeters. So let's do that now. We're going to add 3 centimeters along the hemline here. Now fold along the hemline here. And now cut around the pattern. Now we're gonna label our pattern: front, basic, pant pattern. and I'll put my initials. Now I'm going to put a few notches for reference whilst we're sewing. The front pattern is done. Now we're moving on to the back. Moving on to the back pattern, you need to take your front pattern because we're going to make a few changes on it to form our back. So what I like to do is to get my fresh pattern paper and put the front basic pant pattern on top of it. Then I just tape it on so that it doesn't move when I'm working on it, okay? So first we're just going to extend all these guidelines that we have on our front pattern onto the fresh pattern paper. Let's label them again on this side. So this is our waist, hip, crotch, knee, and our hemline. Coming down to the pant legs here, we're going to expand them by 2 centimeters. So we're going to move out from this seam line here by 2 centimeters. So measure 2 centimeters from there, put a mark, do the same at the knee level, 2 centimeters, put a mark. Connect this with a straight line. Follow along this line with 2 centimeters. So what we did so far, we added 2 centimeters out from this seam line here until we get to the hip line, okay? So from the hip line, we're going to square a straight line up to the top, to the waist. So from the hip line, we're going to square a straight line to the waistline. Okay? Make sure it's squared. So let's extend this side as well, like what we did with this side. So moving out 2 centimeters from this seam line and here as well. 2 centimeters, put a mark. Come to the knee level, 2 centimeters, put a mark. Join them with a straight line. Coming to the crotch line, we're going to go down 1 centimeter and draw in another horizontal line. Okay, so 1 centimeter down and draw a horizontal line. Measuring from this point, we're going to go out by about 4.5 centimeters. 4.5 centimeters, and we're putting it onto the new lowered line. So next we're going to join this point to this point with a curved line. So at the waistline, we're going to draw a horizontal line that's 4 centimeters above our waist. Whatever amount you put for your waist measurement on the front, which is your quarter waist measurement plus the dart allowance plus 0.5 centimeter is, we're going to transfer it to this line measuring from this point here. So we're going to measure from this point going towards this line. Mine was 25.5 centimeters. So I'm just gonna come to this point and measure 25.5 centimeters and just pivot my ruler until I get to this line, okay? So that's where my measurement is, and I put a mark. Now we can remove our pattern. Connect all these lines. Now we come to the hip level. We're going to put our quarter hip measurement plus 1.5 centimeter ease this time. So for our front pattern we added 0.5 centimeter ease, but for the back we're putting in 1.5 centimeter ease. Okay, so my quarter hip measurement plus 1.5 centimeter ease, I'm getting 33.75. So measure it from this line going towards that way. 33.75. Put a mark. Connect these 2 points with a straight line and connect this point to this point with a curved line. Coming back to the top, we need to connect these 2 points with a straight line to form our back waist. So measure this line and mark halfway. Now square a line down from this line. Measure this line and mark 13 centimeters for our back darts. So our dart is still 3 centimeters, so we're going to distribute 1.5 centimeters on each side of this line we just drawn. Draw in the darts. To shape this dart, grab the dart leg that's next to the raised point and bring it to the other dart leg. Get your straight ruler and just connect these 2 points with a straight line. Get your tracing wheel and just go over this bulk here to get the shape. Open your pattern and complete your dart. So the top line here is our new waistline. Now we're going to add our seam allowances again, 1.5 centimeters, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter. Let's do that. Now fold along the hemline like we did with the front so that we can get the nice shape for the legs here. So now we're going to cut around the pattern. So now I'm going to label the pattern. This is the back, basic pen pattern. And I'll put my initials. Next I'm gonna put notches around the pattern. To add the grain line for the back pattern, you need to measure between these 2 points and mark halfway. So you can either measure and mark halfway again on this line and then just draw a straight line up to the top, or you can just square a line across using this point at the bottom. There. So that's it, our basic pen patterns are finished. Now you can go ahead and put them onto Octag. Thank you.